Hey guys, CreamCrazy here, and oh man, it is nearly time. It is Saturday, and we are here ready to go for WrestleMania 30, and God, I am so pumped right now. It has been a fantastic trip so far. You've seen my pictures all over the damn social media, Facebook, Twitter, and the lot. But of course, this is what we're here for. It's so close, I could taste it. Unfortunately, from this point, I've still got the Hall of Fame and the event itself to go, and then everything will be sweet. Now, I was a bit apprehensive back in January when I had no idea what this card was going to be. But you know what? The card's kind of done itself alright, hasn't it? I mean, it hasn't. People may say it's not been the best WrestleMania card, but they've had to make us wait. They've had to make us really, really be patient to get something good out of this WrestleMania. And you know what? Sure, they may have pulled our legs multiple times and teased matches that haven't happened. I mean, we've seen a CM Punk walkout, which has yet to see itself be fully resolved. But you know what? We're at the Showcase of the Immortals. Who am I to care? And plus, I'm here in fucking New Orleans. I'm going to be more excited than this. Anyway, calm down, Fred. It's just a fucking predictions video. Just get on with it, as they will probably be saying through their computer screens like the smarks they are. Nonetheless, this card is quite interesting because we start off with a pre-show match, ladies and gentlemen, which kinda shouldn't be there, really. And that, of course, is the Fatal 4-Way match for the tag titles, featuring the Usos, the Real Americans, Los Matadors. It's either that or Matadores, if they incorrectly say it. And, of course, the one, the only, the tag team that everyone goes nuts about. Not really. Rybacksel. And you know what? This match has a few problems for me. You know, because I really think to myself, this should be split into two. You know, we should have Rybacksel versus Los Matadors on the pre-show itself, with Real Americans versus the Usos on the main show. I mean, to me, that just makes more sense. But then again, the idea of multi-man matches happening in this here card, a lot of things happen and a lot of things go wrong. Fact of the matter is, guys, it's easy to say that the Usos are going to come out of this thing with the tag belts. There is no doubt about it in my mind that this is going to happen. I mean, it's simple. The Usos won the title not too long ago, so why would they lose it now? It says, writing on the wall, simple, but there's one thing we have to factor in here. One thing we have to factor in, and that is the Cesaro and Swagger split. Because it seems like they've been teasing it. The Unity has come back recently, and they feel like they need to solidify themselves with a tag title win to do all that. Well, you know what? That ain't gonna happen. It's simple as that. I've already mentioned it. It isn't gonna happen because it just makes sense for the Usos. So you know what's gonna happen? I mean, they want to make something big happen at Mania. You want to make a big star. This is a WrestleMania that feels like it needs to. WrestleMania 30, as I always say, like any big WrestleMania or any WrestleMania in general, needs to be an avenue for change and signal in a new year. If you're gonna make a guy big, you do it at a WrestleMania. If you want to make a guy start off a massive push, you do it here. So, I would definitely say just have Cesaro hit the Cesaro swing on Zeb Coulter, or hit the damn thing on Jack for all I care when the match is over, when they blame each other for the loss, leading to this massive split. That's one thing I'm hoping for, but as the return to the result goes, the Usos have it in the bag. There is no way in hell that they're going to leave this match without those belts. Enough said. Next, we go on to the main card, and, well, the Divas Invitational for the championship, where AJ has to defend against 13 other Divas. Now, in storyline sense, this match makes a ton of it. You know why? Because, listen, if you say to anyone that this match is stupid because it's going to be an overbooked clusterfuck, then I would agree with you. It's going to be an overbooked clusterfuck. However, if you say that it makes no sense piling all those Divas in there, then you're wrong. Because, of course, AJ said for a long time that she's better than the entire roster and can beat any of them, and all of them in one go. So to see this happening makes valid sense. So if you complain, you're doing it wrong. Just say it. The thing that gets me a little bit irritated, though, is where this match could go, because there's only one or two people out of the Divas who AJ is facing who have a chance of winning, and that's Naomi, who was going to beat her at one point anyway, and we can pretty much sense it knowing how popular she's getting, And of course we have Tamina, which for storyline sense, going into Extreme Rules, would be kind of interesting to see the bodyguard beat the person that she's protecting to then lead forward into the spat between these two. It would be kind of interesting, and honestly this match is a little bit more interesting than the idea of a Tamina versus AJ match that I originally thought was going to happen after what happened at Elimination Chamber. Honestly though, even with that in place, the idea of a one fall to the finish, kind of, as I said, it makes it an overbooked clusterfuck. It's not going to really flow very well. I mean, I'm going to be seeing this without commentary, so I don't know what it's going to feel like for you guys back at home, or on the WWE Network, or wherever you end up being. I mean, you could just be at work on the WWE Network for all I care at that time, right? Fact of the matter is, for me, AJ just feels like she's going to win and overcome all odds, and then something happens. I mean, for example, hell, if AJ pins Tamina to get the damn thing, and then Tamina freaks out, causing the blow-off for that one, and then leading into a match at Extreme Rules there, it could do that. I mean, that's one way I could think about it, but then again, think about it, maybe Vicky Guerrero comes in and interferes, perhaps. And there's a couple of different other things. I mean, Natalya and Summer Rae just fight out of there and just don't come back, or maybe some male gets involved, like a Tyson Kidd or a Santino Marella for an Emma on that front. In fact, I can't remember if Emma's in the match. But if you look at the people who's on the screen right now, I'm not looking at this correctly. It's not the best thing for me to say that I've come tiny bit unprepared, but I'm so excited that things just happen like this. Anyway, for me, I just have a feeling that AJ is going to walk out the winner. I can't really see anyone really winning this apart from her. Even though there is a high chance Tamina will do so, it's gonna be AJ winning, I'm afraid. We all thought this was going to be the immediate burial of her, according to some IWC smarks. Well, it's not going to happen. I wouldn't call this a burial if she has to fight against 13 people. I mean, come on. One fall doesn't make her look weak. Her losing a title when she's not involved in the pinfall will make her look weak, because she couldn't damn well defend it. And then, we get on to the next match. The 6-person tag match, with the Shield taking on Road Dogg, Jesse James, the Badass Billy Gunn, the New Age Outlaws, and Kane. Now, this is another one of those matches that kind of pissed me off a little bit because of the structure it was done in. I mean, I would have rather seen what we saw on Raw this past week. I mean, seeing Roman Reigns versus Kane, and then seeing the Shield members in a tag team match or in his corner, along with the New Age Outlaws doing the same with Kane, would be kind of cool. I mean, sure, we wouldn't be seeing the US title on the show, but I mean, this probably works out better knowing that they're all wrestling. So, you can be kind of happy with that. This match has only got one winner on my mind. There is only one team that's going to win it. And that's going to have to be Kane and the New Age Outlaws. Bit surprised there? Yeah, you might be. Because even though the Shield are very, very, very good at what they are doing, and they're a nice, cool little face turn, the split is going to happen. Because they're not going after the tag belts at the moment. They're not doing anything of note with the US title. They need to do something. That massive amount of goodwill they've got towards each other for beating Kane and the New Age Outlaws up, for not giving them the right to do what they want to do and have much more power within the authority. To say that, they really apparently do have some good context there. Unfortunately, it's not going to stay. Hell no, it's not going to stay. Because I could just see Kane and the Outlaws winning this one in the cheapest way possible, and then they just start to blame each other. There needs to be a heel win on this card somewhere. I mean, AJ is a heel, so her winning counts for that. But I just don't see the Shield winning this. I really don't, because the Authority, based on where the predictions for this card go, which I will get to later, will need some form of encouragement. And to see Kane, who hasn't looked the strongest in recent months, get a victory over these guys who have been uber dominant, it would look good for him, and it would make his authority look stronger. And plus, it would mean effectively leading to the split up of the Shield maybe next week on Raw. Oh god, that would be awesome. Imagine going to the Raw after Mania to see the Shield split off. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Honestly though, I mean, I wouldn't mind if the Shield won, but it just to me would feel, I don't know, much nicer to see Kane and the Outlaws win. I mean, to me, it seems like they've gone in the direction that the Shield are looking so strong they cannot be beaten. And they will in this case. Why? Well, you know what? Technically, if you think about it, Kane could just bring in any team to help him and make the numbers even stronger against the Shield. Because it might be 3-on-3 here, but Kane's in charge, so he can do whatever the damn hell he wants. So, what's more to say, really? He can do what he wants, so why not? Now, the next match on this card, and ladies and gentlemen, it's pretty insane, but it's gonna happen, we can't do much about it. The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. 30 men, over the top, winner gets the trophy in memoriam of one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, in many opinions, and a little bit of mine as well. This is easy to predict for a lot of reasons. There are quite a few jobbers in here, which doesn't help, but there are a lot of established names, which makes it very interesting. And of course, at the moment, at the time of this recording, we don't know who the last three are. It is annoying to say so. I'm a bit pissed off that we don't really know, and it's just what it is. For me, there are potential winners all over the place, but only a couple of them really have what it takes. Now, the first one is Big E Langston, because if you're going to solidify a guy, I've already mentioned with the Cesaro, if you're going to solidify a guy for a future push, you do it at WrestleMania. If you want to do it with Big E winning the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. He may not be like Andre in certain size, at least height-wise, but think about it. He's strong, he's fast, he talks well, he's got a moveset and a look which Vince McMahon loves, so why would they not push him? And he's the IC champ, so it makes him look more important to win this trophy. And you can see him whipping everyone's ass pretty damn fast. Then we've got the Big Show because of the Andre lineage that he had in WCW and then some. Like a good damn thing they've rehashed that for this. Honestly, I would not want to see the Big Show win because it wouldn't benefit him in the slightest. What would a win for the Big Show benefit? Nothing. Nothing at all in the slightest. It just wouldn't work. It wouldn't work whatsoever. Because honestly, this is one of those battle royals, if it were to become a yearly thing that would matter to every young star on the roster, like Money in the Bank was nearly a decade prior, that it gave you a chance to rise and take a spot. Hell, I don't even know what the title of Andre the Giant Battle Royal winner would be. I don't know what it would give. I mean, would it give Biggie Langston a championship match further down the line? Maybe not. Would it give someone else? I don't know, but Big Show winning that trophy and carrying it around would just do nothing. It would then reinforce a full circle front on his career in American professional wrestling that, hey, you are related to Andre the Giant after all, even though we know it's complete bull. You know what I mean? It just wouldn't make sense for the Big Show. A guy like Biggie Langston could benefit. But also, you know who could also benefit? Dolph Ziggler. Because Ziggler has been in a rut since that concussion knocked him straight out of the World Championship scene. And you know what? He's been winning convincingly. He's been looking pretty good. Momentum is in his favour, but of course, momentum isn't everything. You need to have more than that. Maybe it's merch sales, maybe it's the crowd reception, maybe it's just his overall work rate increasing. There's a lot of things you can factor in. Ziggler looks hot as hell going in, but we don't know if it's going to happen for him. I honestly have in my mind that he might, and I'm thinking right now, Christian, when he gets eliminated, he will say, fuck it, I'm retiring, I'm done. Brad Maddox being in here will be quite hilarious. I'm interested to see how it's done. Also, on the Big Show front, why don't they eliminate Big Show first? And probably Carly as well. Just pointing that out there. On regard to the last three entrants, though, I do not know who they're picking. I don't know who they've got. I mean, they haven't put any NXT guys in here, which has really disappointed me so far. The rumours going around of RVD, I don't know about it. We haven't seen him around New Orleans, as far as we know. And I don't know who else they could put. I mean, Bad News Barrett isn't in here, but then again, I'm pretty much expecting him and Hulk Hogan to have a go at each other during the pre-show, or whenever he does his announcement of his hosting job at the show. So I can see why he's not in there, but it's annoying that he isn't. So at the moment, my three potential choices are Big E, Big Show, for fuck's sake, I would not want that personally, and Dolph Ziggler. They're the three I'm picking. I would want to choose one, but if I was gonna pick one, it would be Big E Langston, without a shadow of a doubt. Simple as hell. Now, the Streak versus the Beast. Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker. This is a little bit more interesting because we had a feeling going in that this was going to be amazing. You know, we thought it's Lesnar versus Taker. They put on great matches before, and we want to see something great. But the build hasn't really been strong for this. I'm really not pleased with what this entire feud has given us. You know, Lesnar hasn't looked strong until the last week. We haven't really seen anything from Heyman that really highlights why Lesnar is going after him. We haven't even... I know that The Undertaker is shrouded in kayfabe, but this is one of the reasons why I wanted him to return as the American Badass at some point, because it would have made this feud make more sense. They could have used that UFC feud dynamic tie-in. They haven't even mentioned the feud they've had in the past, apart from a video playlist on WWE.com. They haven't added on television the meat to the bone that makes me want to care for this match. What made me care for Punk and Taker last year was that Punk made it personal. He outlined his reason for wanting to beat the streak because he realized what he needed to do. Highlight his legacy and make himself famous, and also show how weak the Taker has become in losing Paul Bearer and getting older. That was the one thing that made it so intriguing for us. Same with Triple H 2 years prior. You know? The fact of the matter is, where is the intrigue that we know Lesnar is a beast? We know Taker is a beast. We know both of these guys have put good matches on. There's the intrigue of, we kind of have a feeling it's going to be good. But the build doesn't justify any of our thoughts. You know, the build hasn't given us any faith in these guys. And to see the build for a Taker match fall unusually flat, that's rare. I mean, I want to see this match, there is no doubt. But you look at it, apart from saying it's Lesnar v Taker, that's all I need, this doesn't shape up at all. The match doesn't shape up whatsoever. And that's really, really bad. I'm just saying, they could have done a lot more with this and made me care more about it. In the result form, though, I'm going for The Undertaker here. There is no way he's losing to Brock Lesnar. Like Brock Lesnar, he's only reaffirming of his place. I mean, technically, I would have rather have seen CM Punk have this match, and then have Taker go on against someone else later down the line, but as you know, it ain't gonna happen. You can't get everything you want, and unfortunately, for Brock Lesnar fans out there, including one we ran into in the hotel who said he wants him to beat Taker, it ain't gonna happen. Taker is gonna win because it's formulaic. If you read Wrestling Narrative 101, if you get the upper hand on the go-home show of Monday Night Raw, you are going to lose. That's pretty much writing on the wall. Lesnar is going to lose, but I hope to God these two just put on a good match. The build hasn't been great. We've seen less than stellar performances from all of the men included in this. And you know what? At the end of it, what can save it is the match. The psychology will have to be told in that ring, bar none. And speaking of people who get the upper hand on the go-home show on Raw, we have John Cena versus Bray Wyatt in what is probably the match -1 that I am so looking forward to seeing. Because for the first time in years, Cena's been defeated mentally. And even Kane's extension of his hatred didn't get to him. Rock's defeat didn't really get to him, even though we said it did get to him deeply. It didn't show on television. Fact of the matter is, John Cena looks like he's actually found an opponent that's actually scaring the crap out of him, which is fantastic for storyline purposes and for possible match psychology purposes. I mean, they couldn't have put this match together any better. Cena's looked weak, Bray has looked strong. Honestly, at some points, both of these guys have looked equal. Cena has found an opponent who's actually made him look on equal level with him, even though on mic terms alone, Bray has only managed to sell himself through there. He hasn't wrestled very much, but he's managed to sell himself as a legitimate threat, which cannot be said for many of Cena's opponents in past years of not just WrestleMania, but pay-per-views in general. So it's a refreshing thing to see Cena going into a WrestleMania feeling on the back foot, which gives some of the IWC and some smarks some false hope. You know, it's saying to them, Cena's gonna lose. Or Cena's gonna win and just fuck Bray over. Honestly, that's the problem I have with this match. Is that they've kind of teased both ways. That Wyatt is too strong and Cena can't win, but he has to win. Or are they highlighting that Cena is finally realizing that his time is coming up to an end here? We need to put these guys over in the future. And it gives us the impression that Bray will win, and I'm sticking with it. Because it makes sense, but this, of course, is a John Cena match. It's been so well built, as is for many John Cena matches we've had in the past. It has been well done by both men up until this point. The one way I can see this match going is one of two ways. Have it be a typical Cena-type match, where Bray gets a lot of offense, some interference from his other members of the family, he hulks / Cena's up, gets the win, everything happens, the crowd boos the crap out of it, you know how that's going to go. Or it just happens differently, where the offense is actually mixed between the two. You don't have a one-sided fight. And knowing how Bray Wyatt is creepy as fuck, and in the ring he might creep the crap out of Cena for all we know, the pacing of this match might be a lot slower than we think it's going to be. It's not going to be multiple falls, multi-takedowns everywhere. It's going to be quite slow, quite methodical. They have some really nice fast bits in there to get the crowd really going again. If you saw the match with Bryan that Bray had at the Royal Rumble, you'll see what I mean. Cena may be bigger and a bit wider and a bit stronger than Daniel Bryan, but when it comes to Bray Wyatt, you can't go into a match all guns blazing for the whole thing, or have him beat you up to then go all guns blazing at the end. It doesn't work with a guy like Bray Wyatt. He methodically beats the crap out of you, but does it with gusto and class. He respects the ring as a competitor and will quite honestly beat the shit out of you and make you feel it. He won't just hit you with one move, go for a cover. He will make Cena pay for it. He will make Cena pay for being slow and weak in this thing. And Cena will realize, okay, I can't just hit one move and do the same thing. I need to work this guy down while also keeping a head over my shoulder. The match is going to be awesome, and I'm really looking forward to it, as you may not tell by the sound of my own voice. But then picking a winner is a completely different story. This is the problem I have. I don't know who to go for. Because guys, unlike many of you, I'm happy with either result, as long as it plays out right. If Cena wins, to have Bray and the family beat the ever-loving holy hell out of Cena and put him on the shelf to make them still look abominably strong, then I'll be fine. If Bray wins over Cena, Cena then gets his revenge, and then what pay-per-view we have after that? Payback. They have one more match where Bray gets the victory and takes Cena out of the action. I'm fine with that. If Cena wins, and then wins again, and the feud goes to nothing, what the hell's the point? But then again, as I always say, you can look like $1,000,000 in losing a match. Bray can look awesome and lose, and it would still benefit him. It would still benefit Cena to lose, and look $1,000,000 too. Because Cena, sure, him being put over is something that doesn't need to be done here. But Cena losing, against Bray Wyatt especially, he will be made to look incredible. I mean, the matches against CM Punk made him look insanely good. And the first match against Rock did the same. And the first match against Brock did the same in a masterclass of selling, I would say. But Cena hasn't had many of those times, recent times especially, where he's actually looked awesome in losing. I mean, sure, the matches with Orton did a reasonable job, but it was surprising that it didn't make him look that impressive because of the way that Orton won those matches. So to see Cena lose here and look very good in the process would be beneficial for him, because it'll say to people, look, Cena has not only put a guy over here, he's also wrestled a fine match, and we know he can wrestle a match. We all know that. If you don't think that, you're a bit deluded. He can wrestle matches, and I've said it countless times before. This match will be a testament to not only Cena, but Wyatt at this level. And if they pull off what I believe they're going to pull off, it's going to be awesome. And hell, we don't even know what Harper and Rowan are going to do to put this match either way. So, I really am looking forward to this. My prediction is going to be Bray Wyatt winning, only because it makes sense based on Wrestling Narrative 101 and what happened on Raw, plus the fact that momentum is in his corner. Momentum is in Bray Wyatt's corner and he needs to win. For the fact that it makes more sense than I'm letting it on. Cena winning would only work if the feud works out. That's all I'm going to say. And now, we're getting on to the match that everyone's looking forward to. If you are not looking forward to this, why the hell are you even watching this pay-per-view? It's gonna be awesome. Daniel Bryan, the leader of the Yes Movement, versus the authoritarian arsehole. Yes, I somehow managed to put alliteration up in there. English! Versus Triple H. Honestly, this is the reason a lot of us are buying this show. We are buying this show because of this match. Because we want to see what we know is going to happen. And it's going to be simple. It is Daniel Bryan winning against Triple H. My God. Someone has beaten Triple H. The shovel has been buried itself. That's what we're all thinking. We're all thinking, oh, it's going to happen. But of course, there are some naysayers out there. These people who think, for the love of God, that this massive, giant, huge digger, which replaces the shovel, is going to come in, hoist Daniel Bryan up, drop him in the hole, and then just put the dirt on top of him. They're thinking that, and they are absolute idiots. But they do have a point. You know why? Because this match seems predictable on the outset. I mean, Daniel Bryan winning sounds so predictable. WWE have a few spatters in the works. And I hope to God these are taken out of the toolbox and used, because it might be interesting. Think about it. Daniel Bryan could easily win the match, get beaten the holy hell up by Triple H, and then if this happens in the middle of the card, of course, or in the latter parts of the card, to then say, hey, you know what? I'm going to put the match on right now. World title match, go! And Batista and Orton then have an advantage. Or we see Daniel Bryan winning and the beating up scenario happens, but it's the beginning of the card. Bryan is then not in a position to go forward for the championship, meaning it looks like we're going to get the singles match after all. Singles match kind of happens, Triple H kind of bars Bryan from the match, he then walks out, realizing that, you know what, I'm still in this match, I won the place in this match, it's a guaranteed triple threat, he walks out, limping, injured, fights through hell for the last 7 minutes of the match, and gets the victory and wins the title. Or, we could even see Triple H winning, Daniel Bryan against Daniel Bryan in a cheating motion, like a leg on the ropes or help from Stephanie, which the referee doesn't see. We then see Hulk Hogan or Vince McMahon reinforcing the match and going, you know what, Triple H, we're restarting this. Bryan gets a roll up, then gets the win for the match, and then goes on to get the title victory. Or then what do we see? On the other side, maybe Triple H gets the victory and the match goes on as normal. Nah, it ain't gonna happen. If it does happen, yeah, you could tell me that I was right, but also really wrong in that I stacked all my cards in the opposite pile. The other thing that kind of gets me is the idea of a fatal four-way. If Triple H loses, he's pissed off, he has his own power and authority, he could easily say, fuck it, I'm going to put myself in that match anyway. Which is all well and good. But that would be annoying. I mean, seeing Triple H win and then have Daniel Bryan be inserted into the match the same way would be kind of cool, wouldn't it? I mean, you can see what I mean. This match right here has different scenarios all over the place. It's amazing. And again, like I said, it's predictable, but not when you then realize you flip open the book and you see, like many of those RPG role-playing adventure books, that there are multiple different paths a match can go down. And this is a fantastic reason of why you need to have multiple layers in a feud and the way a match can decide the future of it all. There is 4 or 5, maybe even 6 different ways this match can go, and it flows everywhere into potential triple threat matches later in the night, potential interferences later in the night, potential changing to a fatal four-way, potential interferences on other sides, and the inevitable title victor. For me, Daniel Bryan is going to probably be the winner, but the way this goes down is what makes this important. This is going to be a physical, intense, and honestly quite awesome match. Being there live in the crowd, I'm happy to know I'm here to see it. But then, of course, this all leads on to the main event, which I'm already mentioning will feature Daniel Bryan or Triple H, along with Batista and Randy Orton. Now, as I've mentioned, those scenarios that are happening in the match that precedes this will inevitably highlight the outcome of this match. Now, to me, Randy Orton is not going to walk out champ. There is no way in hell he's going to walk out of this damn massive, huge Superdome as the champion. There is no way in hell it is not going to happen. Simple. Batista could win, siding with the Authority properly. And that's the only way I can see him winning, is saying to Daniel Bryan, fuck it. I mean, he's not really in the best of shape, Batista, so he could easily be put out of the match by like an RKO or a diving headbutt off the top rope through the announce table by Bryan. And then we allow Bryan and Orton to go at it. Batista comes in out of nowhere after the flying knee has been hit, hits with a massive Batista bomb, gets the victory, beats the crap out of him afterwards, and then we see the Authority holding up their new corporate champ, which then leads on to a, say for example, a steel cage match, leading to no interferences, no nothing, no at the Extreme Rules, leading for Bryan to finally win the damn belt. You know, that could be an easy thing to do. But it couldn't even go that way. There's even the rumours of CM Punk. You know, rumours of Punk coming back, and then either helping Daniel Bryan to win, or maybe even screwing him and joining the Authority. I mean, I don't think Punk's going to come back. It's not going to happen for me. If it does happen, I will be the first to admit I was wrong and eat my newly bought WrestleMania cap. But if it does, what the hell's going to happen? What is even Stone Cold going to do? Because, of course, I haven't even mentioned this so far. But only a couple of days ago, we found out that Stone Cold is going to appear at WrestleMania. What is he going to do? Is he going to then, if what we've mentioned, Punk comes in and does what he has to do by screwing Bryan out of the championship, he then gets a stunner from Austin, which then foreshadows that dream match. It's not going to happen, but you got to keep your mind a little bit open. But you see, even with Batista being a potential victor being there as an option, you could even have Triple H actually coming through and winning himself. He could remove Bryan mid-match. No, it wouldn't even happen. But honestly, it all leads to the moment of Daniel Bryan with that championship in the air and us yesing our asses off. Whether he does it legitimately or not, whether he does it in the best way possible or not, whether he does it quickly or not, whether he does it after a long period or not, whether he's injured and battles through or not. No matter what happens, it'll be a moment we can all savour. But then again, ladies and gentlemen, it may be a prediction, but it's the way we get to it. Are they going to draw us out with false finishes? Are they going to draw us out with massive big weapon spots that maybe incapacitate Bryan for a while, to then have him claw his way back and fight through in the most spirited performance ever? Who knows? Honestly, this entire thing from Daniel Bryan, Triple H, all the way through to this match, has made this WrestleMania enthralling in so many ways because of how unpredictable it is, even though it looks predictable from the bloody outset, and we have missed that for the last 2 years of WrestleMania. Every single match, mostly for the last 2 years, has been so predictable, but so could be said for this card. But the one thing I'm liking is there are multiple ways you can get to a match finish. It may seem predictable, but every single match on the card, including this one, has the potential to go off in directions we may not see, and we may like it. If Daniel Bryan wins, though, and fans are shitting on it, saying, "Oh, that was so predictable, it was just rubbish," you guys wanted this for months, especially at WrestleMania. If you cry and complain and whine like the smarks you are sometimes, fuck it, all the time, then I'm afraid I've got some bad news for you. Tough shit. Get your act together and stop complaining. Some of you are just not satisfiable, and if this main event finishes with the greatest of all time face holding that title up and you're booing it, and you're slamming it, then I just don't know what to do. If it turns out to have Batista winning, and you complain as well, I'll just laugh. I'll just go back on Twitter when I return from the event, and I will laugh and say, "Oh well, you didn't get what you want either way." I'm happy with the result because it was actually kind of entertaining, so it'll happen either way. Honestly, though, the real prediction for me is that Daniel Bryan, upon winning his match, will win the championship. Because I want to make the crowd leave home happy. And I'm sure, after the last 2 months of bullshitting and trolling, WWE will want the same. Because we don't want to set the awesome Superdome ablaze, now do we? I pray not. And that's what I'm going to say to end the predictions, guys. I am looking forward to this show so much. Probably more so because I'm here, but WrestleMania still looked good on paper anyway. What are your thoughts? Hit down on the Twitter at CreamCrazy, or even put your stuff in the comment section and give your opinions. What are your thoughts on WrestleMania? How do you think it's going to go? And honestly, if you're here in New Orleans, try and find me. I mean, if you go to my Twitter account and tell me you're here and you want to try and find me, go ahead and say so. I mean, meeting up with some of you will be actually fucking awesome. And you know what? If you haven't done so already, you want to see the rest of my WrestleMania videos, which include the Hall of Fame reaction, the WrestleMania reaction, and of course the Raw review, all you gotta do is click the subscribe button, because remember, this is the second of 5 videos in 5 days. You're not gonna get a bigger streamload of content from a person who's not a partner on YouTube. And I won't be uploading multiple videos a day, because no, that's not my style. I don't want to flood your subscribing feed with this stuff. So, you're getting 5 videos in 5 days, something I have not done for years. I hope to God you enjoy it. Guys, I have been CreamCrazy. You've been people listening. This has been my WrestleMania 30 predictions video. And I will see you tomorrow for the Hall of Fame vid. And you know what? It's just awesome. I am hoping that WrestleMania 30 and anything else surrounding this lives up to yours and my expectations. Cheers, guys!